Welcome to Reef Diary, day 77. Not a lot happened today. I am preparing for tomorrow because a 39-pound box is coming my way from Dwayne's house in Washington. So that will be a whole bunch of corals that I have to deal with tomorrow. But for tonight, let's just take a look at the reef and see how things are going. The anemone cube is on autopilot. I haven't cleaned the glass in days. There's too many anemones on the glass. Look at all these sereths. This happens about once a week where they all gather together in a group. I swear they're having an orgy over there. The acans look great, the new ones that just arrived, and they're blending in well with the other ones, and I hope to just have a whole bunch of acans in this area one day. The end view of the tank looks nice now. I think tomorrow evening it'll look a lot more cluttered in the distance. We'll see how it all goes. This chalice is 100% recovered. Looks fantastic. I'm probably going to need to make a concerted effort to feed these LPS directly, manually once a week to make sure they're getting some food, because the frozen food I put in at night gets chased down by all the fish, and I would like to make sure these corals are inhaling something as well. Now I can use things like Benereef, which does help, but I think some meaty foods once a week would be a nice thing if I can somehow add that to my schedule. The main thing I did today was clean the glass, front, back, and at the end, and that is quite the task, actually. There was some really hard brown algae happening at the sand bed right there where it touches the glass, and I wanted to basically chisel all that away so it's nice and clean again, so it doesn't obscure the view. There's no reason to let that stuff build up. I also went ahead and cleaned out the collection cup from their frag system because it was nearly full, but the main reef's skimmer, that doesn't happen because of the waste collector. And it has about 4 or 5 inches in it. I probably need to deal with the algae turf scrubber tomorrow, and I need to calibrate the Trident, but I didn't feel like doing it today. That being said, tomorrow is going to be a very busy day, so I probably won't feel like doing it again tomorrow, but I need to do that. I need to go ahead and make the calibration adjustments so that way I'm getting accurate readings from the Trident when it comes to alkalinity specifically, since I do allow it to turn the calcium reactor on and off as needed. When the numbers get too high, it shuts off the calcium reactor's CO2 tank. Having the CO2 off for a duration allows the pH within the reactor to rise, which means the effluent coming out has less alkalinity in it. So I need to make sure that I don't let that get away from me, because it's a very important thing with all these SPS corals that are trying to grow. I did take a few macro shots today with the DSLR and tried to focus on the tips of a couple of these Acropora. And it's actually really hard to photograph those guys. I think it's just because this tank is so distant front to back. There's a long, it's nice to get the macro lens close to a coral, but it needs to be very, very stable. And I'm shooting from outside the tank, and sometimes the SPS is about 14 to 16 or 18 inches away. I just fed the fish, and then I poured in some Live Rock Enhance into the system again. And I want to point out there's a lot of red you're seeing on the rock. And that red apparently is some kind of red coralline right now, because when I take a fingernail to it and try to scratch it off, it doesn't come off like cyanobacteria might. So there's a lot of that red, and I'm going to attribute all that growth to the potassium dosing that happened last month. This third dose of Live Rock Enhance will now have used up an entire jar and a half of powder. And I'll have to open up a new one for the next batch, which will be my final batch. I plan to do it for 4 weeks and then stop. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit like, and feel free to comment down below on your favorite coral. I'd love to know which one you like out of the reef system. I'm just very happy to show you lots of happy, clean, healthy corals, and it's such a long way from what happened, 45, 60 days ago. It's a very nice turnaround, and I'm very pleased with it. That's it for today's diary. I hope you enjoyed it, and there will be another one tomorrow, and I'll see you then.